All right, you guys. So we talk about doing a little bit of energy shifting, and sometimes it can be, like, okay, you want to get into it, but what do you actually do? And do you have to like have just watched a video, and do you have to like get the process just right? But what I want to remind you is that the definition of an energy shifting process is anything that makes you feel better. Anything. So if I teach you this process, what we're going to do today, hopefully, is going to result in you feeling a little bit better about whatever is coming down the pike for you today or this week. But remember, at the end of the day, anything that makes you feel better is totally fair game. So, what we're doing right now is legit what I do. I was doing this last week and I had the idea of, well, why don't you just have a meetup and walk everybody through legit what you're doing? And I've taught this, but sometimes when you're listening to something, there's this like there's for me there's always been this like a little bit of a bridge between conceptually understanding it and then sitting my ass down and getting it done. So right now, if you don't have a pen and paper, you're crazy. So go get make sure you have a pen and paper or something to write on, because this is what we're going to do. I've not prepared for this morning. I'm literally going to start off from legit if I am just starting my morning and I have to check in. So the first thing I'm going to do, so the high level of what we're doing today is we're going to try to just fish around to see like, are there any thoughts on my mind that have like wobble? Like, is there any thoughts on my mind that like carry a little bit of anxiety or nervousness or overwhelm, or just like some thought that's kind of been rolling around for a while that carries negative, like any sort of negativity? Because as we know, how we are feeling right now is energetically paving the road for how we feel later. So unless you're feeling like just fan freaking tastic right now, right? If you are anything below that, then there's an opportunity to like just do a little bit of energy shifting. You don't have to have any major problems. You could be chilling. You could be like, hey, I'm pretty good. But if you're pretty good, there's still an opportunity to be better. If you're feeling neutral right now on this Tuesday morning, because hey, it's just your work day and you're just going to dive into it or whatever you're doing, if you're neutral, there's an opportunity to be better. If you're feeling like a little bit of, oh my gosh, I have so much to do, there's obviously an opportunity to be better. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take a minute and we are going to check in with ourselves and be like, okay, how am I feeling right now? Like, what's going on in my mind? So, if I ask myself right now, okay, Alleah, how do you feel about your Tuesday? Being like completely raw, I am feeling like I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling like I have a lot to do. I'm feeling like a little bit like I don't have time, right? I have like a few meetup videos I have to process and post the recordings to, right? And I'm feeling a little bit like I don't know if I have time to do everything I want to do. I'm feeling a little bit like I have a little bit of like an around like the issues with some people signing into Meetup, and so now I have to contact their support, which has always been a good test of like how am I frustratable right now, because it's very difficult to contact them. But just because it's difficult, just because that's true, me acknowledging that something I need to do today is difficult, just because it's true doesn't mean that is it going to work for me on with law of attraction, right? Like, and that's where sometimes we get caught up. Like we justify how we feel because something going on is true. So even though it is true that it's been difficult, if I just settle and tolerate the phrase in my mind like, oh, I'm not looking forward to contacting meetup support because it's difficult, then I'm never going to experience anything other than it being difficult, right? So if I'm feeling like, then likely the entire process of contacting Meetup is going to be one of, eh. So if I can acknowledge that, hey, here's this thing. It might be true. It might be true that my past has led me to know that it's going to be difficult. But just because it's true doesn't mean I'm charging up with law of attraction energy, right? I could manifest a different situation, even if the only goal is for me to feel better in the process of talking with them. But then if you do that, usually a little bit of magic occurs, the law of attraction magic occurs, and then they end up being more helpful. You end up getting the right person to help you. It ends up being easier. So what I'm doing right now is going through my mind and I'm looking for little knots, right? Like just imagine, you're brushing your hair and you get a little knot. It's not a big deal, but you kind of have to have a little intention of brushing it through. So right now it's kind of like what energies are kind of popping up. So I've kind of gone through here feeling fine, but that's different than like totally in the groove, right? So like that's a great opportunity to go from fine to a little bit more in the groove. A lot to do. I don't have enough time. The meetup is going to be difficult. Okay, let me check in with some other subjects. Like, how am I feeling about my body right now? Like, I'm actually feeling really good about my body. And I know that because it was just very easy for me to tell you. Like, without thinking about it, I was able to say, hey, I'm feeling really good right now. How am I feeling about like my house right now? I'm feeling really good. We were decluttering all weekend. The house is looking great. Let's see what else is going on. How do I feel about my relationship? Pretty good. I feel like it's going pretty good right now. My daughter, we actually had a really nice morning. Last week was a lot of crying in the mornings. And so we've been practicing, not having that, like by kind of talking to her about it the night before in the morning. Cause there was this kind of rhythm where we would get up, we'd be snuggling in bed. And for some reason we would go downstairs and then she would start freaking out over wanting to watch TV and us not letting her, or, not wanting to eat her oatmeal, but then wanting to eat her oatmeal. So, but then we've been working on it and this morning was a really good morning. She actually didn't cry at all or wasn't doing any of those 2-year-old things. So yeah, but I'm also like looking forward for the week. There's a piece in me where I'm like looking forward to making progress this week on lots of projects. So I'm going to stop talking for a minute and I want to give you guys an opportunity to actually just learned how to play music through Zoom. So I'm going to basically just give us a couple minutes. I'm going to throw a song on and give you that time to just check in with yourself and write down like, okay, what's on your mind, right? If somebody was just like, hey, do you want to grab a cup of coffee? And you're like, no, I can't, blah, 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 blah. What are those little nuggets of things? Maybe it has something to do with, feeling tired or feeling like, you need something healthy to eat, but you don't have time. So I am going to try this out. I'm going to stop talking for a minute and see if I can play something nice for you guys. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. Deborah, this isn't your song, but it's a little Elton John in there. So until you give me a playlist, this is what you got. All right. A couple minutes for the song to write down your energy. It's a human sign when things go wrong, when the scent of her lingers and temptation strong, cold heart done by you. Something's looking better, baby. Just pass it through. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find
looking better, baby. Just passing through. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man I think I am at home. Oh, no, no, no. And this is what I should have said. Touchdown brings me round again. Well, I thought it, but I can't dead. No, no, no.
All righty. So hopefully you've got your little list of nuggets. And from here, we're just going to just rewrite these, or whatever we need to do to kind of just set these with some good vibes, just to slightly change, right? We're not trying to do big shifts. We're not trying to create mantras that are like unbelievable. We're just trying to kind of like rewrite whatever these things are to feel good. So for instance, mine right here. So I had fine, right? I'm generally more than fine. So it's not too hard for me to kind of like set some intention to be like, so I wrote down, today's going to be a good day. I, being in a place of fine, that's not a big jump. So, but if I could just tolerate being fine, and then I would go into my, next thing you know, I'd be looking at my to-do list, I'd be doing the schedule, but I'd be doing all of that with fine energy. And if I'm going to do all of that with fine energy, then I'm manifesting more time in my life being fine. But with just like tiny little rewrite, it could be good, right? So if I just my first sentence is today's going to be a good day, I just am like, oh yeah, today is going to be a good day. So the next one for myself, you heard me say I have a lot to do. I don't have time to do everything. So what I want to tell myself is, you know what? I'm going to go easy on myself today. How can I have a good day, but also just cruise through it? Right. And so even just posing the question, like, what does it look like today to just kind of have an easy day of cruising through? And what I mean when I say go easy on myself is I'm meaning like I don't need to get everything done today. Like, yes, I have lots of appointments. So why try to get 5 things on my to-do list if I only have a 2-hour block of time in between different appointments that I have? So, so I want to remind myself, hey, I'm going to go easy on myself. I'm going to enjoy my day. What does it look like if I just kind of have a good day and cruise through the day? And then I have a little, sentence here. I'm going to call meetup. And if I talk to somebody, I'm going to be really nice to them. Like, this is just going to be an opportunity to like I'm not going to call and be like, hey, this, blah, 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 right? Because that would be fine. That I could do that. I could just call and say, hey, this is the problem. I could be nice about it, right? I could even be like, hey, I was looking for some help because, we're noticing the links aren't working. Or I could be like, hey, how are you doing today? Like, I am so excited to talk to you, right? So this is just the practice of however you were going to do it. How do you add a little extra juju in there? So I'm setting the intention that it's going to be a nice conversation. And it doesn't really matter if they help me or not, because this is all about like what I'm putting out into the world. I'm not being conditional. I'm not going to be nice because then I think law of attraction is going to give me something I want. I'm going to be nice because I'm going to be extra, extra nice because it feels good to be extra, extra nice. And if I then kind of reframe calling meetup to being difficult to, hey, this is just going to be another nice thing I do in my life, then, hey, now I'm like, stirring up some energy that is going to propagate in a really good way. So then, I was kind of saying like, I'm looking forward to progress this week, but I'm even going to reframe that a little bit extra. So it's like, you know what, this is going to be a really good week. And I'm right there. I'm not trying to say I'm going to get everything on my to-do list done. All I'm saying is this is going to be a really good week. And when I say it, when I create it, then now I'm feeling it. So my kind of little like blurb for the day looks like, I'm going to have a good day today. I'm going to go easy on myself. I am going to have a good day. I'm going to cruise through the day. I'm going to I'm going to get some things done, and I'm going to have some good meetings. I'm going to call meetup. It's going to be really nice conversation, and I'm going to get geared up for a good week. Now, this may seem like, hey, this isn't a huge process, but I'm telling you guys, from somebody who's been hardcore practicing law of attraction for 11 years, that this is the magic. This is the work. It doesn't have to be bigger than this, right? On a daily basis, to just do a quick check in with ourselves and then kind of just rewrite it. So now I start the day with this kind of like nice little massage. It's going to be a good day. I'm going to go easy on myself. I'm going to have my appointments. I'm going to get done whatever I can, maybe one thing on my to-do list. I'm going to call meetup. It's going to be a nice conversation. And this is going to be a really good week. It's not that complicated. It's not so huge. But I'm telling you right now, after doing this, I am feeling better than fine, right? I'm feeling better than all of these other things. So right now, I'm actually like, hey, I'm actually kind of excited to look at my to-do list. I'm kind of excited to double check my appointments. I'm kind of excited to like get the call with meetup done. I'm kind of excited to get maybe one solid thing on my to-do list done. I'm excited to go easy on myself. And I'm excited to set my tolerance level that I'm not going to tolerate anything other than a really nice day today and getting geared up for a good week. So what I want you guys to do is I'm going to throw another song on, give you another minute or two to just give yourself 1 to 4 bullet points, 1 to 4 sentences of just little nice things to just shift your energy a tiny bit. Don't skip this step. Do this, even if it's uncomfortable, even if you're like, I don't know if this is good, just attempt it. You get full points for just attempting this. And that's all. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to throw another song on. Let's see. How do I do this again? Yes, share. Let's do this.
you really want me, just reach out and touch me. Come on, sugar, let me know. If you really need me, just reach out and touch me. Come on, sugar, let me know. If you really need me, just come on and tell me so.
All right, all right, all right. How we feeling? How we doing? All right. I don't think I ever muted you guys, so I want to hear from you. How was this for you? You got questions? You want some help rewriting a couple phrases? I probably have 5 minutes before I have to get ready for my 10 a.m. So, what's going on? Tell me what's up, you guys. Nobody? Nobody?
I can share a little.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah. So what I found especially useful was the phrase you kept saying, I'm going to go easy. So that's what I landed on, and found peace in like not making it more elaborate. I'm going to go easy, like in
Oh, doesn't
all
that feel good?
areas.
Doesn't
It
that feel
really
like
does.
self-care? Doesn't that feel like
Yes.
doesn't it feel like you are like taking care of the cells in your body and you're just allowing everything to relax, and it's like what's worth doing if it's not going to be like a nice journey? So I love that. I love that. Cheryl, talk to me.
Yeah, I went from agitate, tired, okay, nap, frustrated with the computer, meetup, sign in. And I went to, I don't have to get it all done. I can set some time windows to put in. I can do my exercise. It would feel good to do. It feels good being positive. I love when I go with the flow of life. Uncomplicated brings me a good sense, and dancing makes me feel good.
I love all of this. Hold on. Callie, come here. Get over here. My poor dog was stuck in the rain, so I just let her in. But now she likes to the view is in the field with animals, and so she likes to bark. So you stay over here, sweet doggy. Cheryl, I loved all of that. So can you feel a relief? Are you just feeling a little bit better, or is it hard to, or is any of that hard to believe? And so you kind of like, you tell me, how are you feeling now?
Well, I think I feel like I've shaken it off a bit. You know what I mean? And I'm
Yes.
not like a magnet to me, or you don't have those little things that are sticking on your legs when you're out in those brush things. That I feel like I feel like I'm losing it, you wearing it loosely, I guess.
Oh, that's perfect. You've done this perfectly, Cheryl. Doing law of attraction is nothing more than what you just did. That's
Yeah.
it. And now as you practice that, so let's say that you practice that today and tomorrow, then you might be ready. At some point, you're going to feel like, hey, I'm now ready to write something a little bit nicer. And then that space that you can get yourself into in a couple days may have been hard to do today, but because you did a small shift, then then since you did a small shift, it's going to be possible. I don't know, a few days, a week or something like that. So I know you're new to this group, but you've been here a couple meetups in a row. And I want to tell you, you have done it perfectly. And what you just experienced is everything law of attraction. And then as you do it more and more, just the exact same way, that's when you will start seeing everything around you shift and change. So really good job. Really, really good. Anybody else want to share, say something, or ask for help? Letitia, I just saw your message. Can I help you write something? You have to unmute yourself.
I wrote, I'm going to get stuff done with ease.
Great. Do you believe that, or do you feel like that's not going to happen? Everything's really hard.
Um, yeah, that's a little challenging to believe, but I feel if I break it down and that have an expectation to get everything done, it will probably be easy.
Okay. But that's kind of like this mechanical way of doing it, right? Like, okay, I'm just gonna like break these things down to small chunks and do it. And that's like what a normal life coach would tell you to do, right? I'm not the normal one. I want you to do that. I think that's a good idea. But I want you to have at least one phrase of something that lets you breathe a little deeper. So for instance, could we say something like, I've got some big things on my plate, but I would like to practice breathing deep while doing them.
I love it.
Right? So just write that down and then kind of sit with it. Set your timer, for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, and just read that over and over again. I know I got some big things, but right now I just would like to breathe deep. Right, and almost just giving ourselves permission to breathe deep is kinda like what Aparna was doing, right? It's just feels like self-care. It feels like, "Ah, okay." Like, "Okay, like, yes, it will be nicer to do if breathing deep." And so we can just start feeling a little bit of that energy raise up and off of us, and so I think that's a great start for you. So just play with that today, tomorrow, and then you can check in and say, like, is there something else that I could say? Like, hey, I'm realizing that it would be nice to not care so much. Right? That could be a good one. It'd be nice to not care so much. I wonder what life looks like when I just kind of cruise. Can I cruise? And so you can just start experimenting. And then you ask yourself, does this feel good? Or like your first one, does it seem unbelievable? Because if it's not believable, it doesn't work. That's why we have to start off with something little. If I'm just saying, okay, I'm going to get all this stuff done, and you're like, well, probably not, doesn't work. So
Thank
awesome.
you.
For sure. All right, you guys, I have to run, but I send me a message. You can even direct message me in this chat if you liked this, because I'm not sure if I'm going to continue doing this or not. So any feedback from you guys would be good. And I will see you guys later. Bye.